Hey up everybody, it's the 15th of September and there's Sam here, me, Chops is here, Chops, and we're just putting some compost on some oilseed rape. The government in their wisdom have said we can't put muck or compost on anything but oilseed rape and grass on in autumn now, which I think will be an environmental disaster. But they're doing it for environmental reasons, so let's not worry about that. It's a K2 Duo. Is it 6 tonne spread? It's 600. Yeah, K2 Duo 600, which holds 6 tonne, I think, technically. It's a very small spreader, really, but I quite like it for top dressing with because it's really quite light. We're on the 6130R. Using GPS, aren't we, Sam? Yeah. So we can see where we've been, because the compost spread's quite fine, so it's quite hard to see where we can go. We're putting about 5 tonnes to the acre on, and we're going on the tram lines, which are set to 24 metres, then once in between the tram lines. At the moment we're in between the tram line run. So in effect we're running at 12 metres, and the spreader will just manage to spread the compost to 12 metres. So yeah, I think it's doing a good job, really. The rape was direct drilled into a winter barley stubble, and it's also got some berseem, clover, fenugreek and buckwheat in there, as well as some volunteer barley. And the companions are supposed to be there to help to stop flea beetle. As it turns out, I don't think it's been a very bad flea beetle year, but it's there anyway. And I quite like the diversity. The buckwheat will die off in the frost, and the rest will probably, this isn't organic, so the rest of the rape will probably get sprayed out with a herbicide sometime. The agronomist will be keen to do that, but the buckwheat is just about to come into flower, so if we could let it flower, it'd be a good late pollen for anything that wants it. Pheasants have done quite a lot of damage at this end of the field. Maybe not so bad in this field, but in the other field they've done a lot of damage because there's game strips on the bottom edge of the field. So anyway, it's going well. I wish I was doing it instead. I'm drying corn. No, I'm alright. Everyone loves drying corn. Yeah. Depends on the sunset. I'm alright. Sam's gone shy. Oh, it's actually great. Oh no, it's just, I think we've only got buckwheat growing in this end. I think the pheasants have eaten the rape and left the buckwheat. If only, anyway, look. There's a load of pheasants, look, all stood around. The gamekeepers have actually electric fenced them off, but they've maybe electric fenced these ones into the field now, I don't know. And there we go, the most horrible bird in the whole wide world. Certainly the thickest. Is that too controversial? Gorgeous evening now. I think it's making a good job actually. You can see that's the compost here. This is household waste from a few local towns and things like that. But you can see here, got the oilseed rape plants looking quite good. No flea beetle damage much on them. There's maybe a little bit here and there, but nothing compared to some years. That's berseem clover there. This is buckwheat, which has got some flowers starting to come there, so it'd be nice if they get opened up. And there should be some fenugreek somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure what that looks like. I'm sure I have seen some. It maybe does look a little bit like the clover. Where is it? Unless something's eaten that. That may be fenugreek there, I'm not sure. Someone will probably tell me I'm wrong, but I think it could be. But anyway, yeah, I'm quite pleased with this rape so far. There aren't too many plants, so we could do to keep pheasants and pigeons off it, really. Sam did say there were some pigeons on it earlier, actually. He's nearly finished. But anyway, it's a lovely evening, so I'll see you all later. Here's an impression for you. So, Mike, why are you putting the muck on top rather than ploughing it under? Well, really, it was just because we wanted to direct drill the crop, so we didn't want to do any cultivation. So we have to put it on top. The other thing is, I suppose I could have put the muck on before we had planted the oilseed rape. But in some ways, I'd rather do it afterwards, because I think if we go to a bit where we've paddled, I think these plants, where we've gone on, not the tram lines, I think they will recover from being trampled on. They'll jump up again and get going. Whereas sometimes if you direct drilling, I think if you paddle first and then drill into it, the plants struggle to get going in the first place. Whereas once they're actually going, they'll maybe stand a bit of paddling, and they've already got the root down a bit. So I just think any compaction might not bother them as much once the crap's actually going, as long as it's not too wet. It was a bit damp this morning. First thing this morning, Sam just did the tram lines. Didn't do in between the tram lines to start with, and then when it dried up a bit, he did start doing in between the tram lines. Anyway, I'm happy with it, and the sun's shining for a change, so I may be able to combine some beans tomorrow. I've had a breakdown with the combine the other day. Some bearings on the main rotor on the variable speed broke, and due to COVID, Brexit, and everything else, there's none in Europe, so I think there's some coming from America, which should be here tomorrow. If they aren't here tomorrow, I've been having a look around. I think I can bodge something up so I can get going, because if it's a good day and the beans will go, I'd like to get at least the organic ones done. And I have some conventional beans as well, but they're not ready, and a neighbour that might want a bit of combining doing, but we'll see. He might have mended his combine as well soon. Anyway, see you all later. Fenugreek, I knew there was some there somewhere. Slightly different leaves. Doesn't look like it's going to grow very quickly, but you never know, it might get going now.